Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. It is Monday and we're kicking off the week with some news, as always. Let's look at the stuff in-game, first of all. So, we have a new Summon Pool event, which is on for the next 4 days or so. It's 2 to 6 star. If we look at the chances for this event, it is definitely more weighted towards the 2 star. So I'd say it's pretty similar to in your regular Soulstones. It's fairly similar to an Immortal Soulstone. Like you're quite weighted towards getting something that's, well, not very good. But you've got, an okay chance for other stuff. Again, it's more weighted towards epic, but somewhat legendary. It's okay. In terms of the champions that are in here, if we move me out of the way, I mean, they're very strong. It's a big pool, but they're very, very strong, and you'd be happy with souls for a lot of these. There have been guaranteed souls for a few of these champions, though. So Ultimate Death Knight, Arbiter has had guaranteed souls. Actually, that might be kind of it. Wukong has had some guaranteed souls as well. So has Wixwell. But you do have good champs mixed in here that tend to get a decent chunk of usage. There's very few champions in here that are bad. I'd say Deliana is one that stands out. Not useless, right? She kind of carries some secret rooms and Doom Tower. She carries some stages in Cursed City. There's no question. But she's certainly not as generally useful as a Michinaki, a Newt, or Harima, etc. Right? So, yeah, in terms of the epics, there's a good selection of epics as well that you would want souls on. I'd say Whispers, very strong. Seer's quite decent. Shamael, Aboro, very strong. Maneater, very strong for progressing on Clan Boss. Royal Guard, very strong. Fane, Barracan, lots of good stuff. And then just good general champions as well that you're happy to have souls on, like Husk, Tyrell, yeah, so honestly, yeah, Venomage as well. It's a good event. How do we get these for free? Can we get any for free? Well, let's jump over to the events tab over here. And from what I can see, the only source of free Prism Crystals is the Sand Devil Turn Attack tournament. And this has become more difficult. So the last time we did a video on this, we were annoyed that they had inflated the points on the Sand Devil tournament. That's the feedback we gave. Is why has the Sand Devil tournament become more expensive? Well, they've come back this time and made it even worse. It's even more expensive. So this is very intensive. This is downtime between it, or well, not quite, but the fusion is coming to an end. This is going to overlap with CVC, and Sand Devil does give decent points for CVC, though it's not personal rewards. This is, it's up to you whether you want to go for this or not. It is expensive. Personally, I will go for it. But the Sand Devil tournaments are becoming more and more and more a big question mark as to whether or not it's good value for a typical player, right? For a typical player, a more early, mid-game, even late-game player, that is eating up a lot of your runs in Minotaur to get that much stuff done. I mean, it's still nice to get some of the Sand Devil upgrade materials and whatnot, but it's pretty intensive. So that's some bad news. Now, in terms of good news, we've got a gift for Siege. You've got a week to grab this, but this is free. It's going to come over the course of 3 different days. There's a bunch of energy, multi-battles, 5-star chicken, legendary book, and a chest in here as well. So these chests, I haven't talked about these before, but they have been a new thing in the shop. I believe they have been absolutely terrible. This new chest will have 10 artifacts in it. Actually, from pretty good sets. Cruel, even Immortal, Divine Speed, Savage Stun, Regen, Cursed, Reflex, Retaliation, and Speed. They're good sets. Half of the time it's going to be epic. Then there's a decent chunk of legendary and some mythical even. 32% are 5-star, that sucks. But 68% are 6-star. This chest actually seems fairly decent, and you're getting it for free, which is good. But don't just beware. Don't be going like, wow, this set's pretty good. I'll go buy these chests when they show up in the shop. These chests showing up in the shop have been pretty terrible value so far. Either being like horrendously bad value or just bad value where you'd be better off just getting energy and doing the dungeons. But let's grab this stuff. Here we go. Let's grab it. Will we open it? Yeah, let's open it. And let's see what I'm going to get here. 6-star epic. We got ourselves a 6-star mythical, a 5-star epic, a 6-star epic, 5-star epic. We've got a legendary, 6-star legendary. This is actually really good. 6-star legendary, 5-star epic, another legendary. It's a 6-star and another legendary, a 6-star. So, I mean, let's take a quick gander. Crit rate, crit damage on curse. Okay. We got ourselves pretty bad retaliation piece, unfortunately. Not great. We prefer HP percent on regen. That's actually really solid reflex. Defense percent with HP percent, speed, crit rate. That's great. That would be really, really good for someone like, be really good for like a Cantra or a Vizix. Got ourselves a thing here. Reflex, it's okay. More looking for speed. Speed on Immortal. We could roll that for speed. Accuracy, resistance. It's not bad. Actually a decent early game shield. Bad chest piece there. And then we'd roll this up and then potentially Chaos Aura it for speed. But chest is unlikely to be that good. But hey, we got some good piece. I mean, considering that is free, that's a pretty good free gift. We'll take it. So that's actually quite a nice free gift, I think. Actually quite good. So that's some good news. Oh, lots of red dots for me to click. Now, the other bit of news, we do have obviously a summoning event coinciding with CVC. I will be streaming the CVC, so I'll see you tomorrow when the tournament timer ends. I will be on. I'll be streaming for usually about 2 hours or so of CVC. It is not personal rewards, so it's going to be fairly relaxing, fairly chill. We're not going to be pushing too crazy. There are, when you get to the set levels, it's crit damage and reflex. The reflex is still really strong. Crit damage, not too good these days, honestly. Crit damage has been pretty hard power crept by the new sets. It's definitely falling off pretty hard. So it's not great, but reflex remains very useful. For the objectives for this one, 2x for campaign, 2x for Shogun, and 2x for arena. So if you're concerned about getting your points, if you want to make sure you're getting your clan rewards, it is not personal rewards, so usually it's pretty chill. You could definitely buy with gems a few refills in Tag Arena. That's a good source of points if you're in silver or gold, more so. Shogun, tricky to farm Shogun, let's be honest, when there's Sand Devil on. Remember, Sand Devil still does give decent points. Campaign, I don't think there's any champion training stuff planned for this. Hang on, let's jump over here. Is there? CVC, I mean, there's really nothing on. I would just be using these double points to get the minimum sort of point requirements you need. This is not a high priority thing. I mean, you'd probably much rather, let's be honest, farming up in Minotaur or maybe doing the Sand Devil tournament. So this stuff is kind of just there to help you get your points. It's a bit to be honest. Now, the final bit of news we've got is obviously a summoning event for CVC, as always. Huzzah, hurrah. So Tuesday the 16th and Wednesday the 17th of Jolt. This is a new month. Jolt. Very exciting. So what do we have? Matthias, Feral, Giath, and Awella on day 1 from your Ancients, Primals, and Sacreds. And again, as always, I would never do the Primals for these. Save them for double events. On day 2, Michinaki, Kyoku, Nishak, and Wixwell. Wow. I would say Feral stands out on day 1. And I would say probably Michinaki stands out on day 2. I think Nishak's pretty decent as well. I probably wouldn't be too bothered pulling for Wixwell or Kyoku. Wixwell is actually really good, but you probably have him already. I don't see why you'd want multiple copies or a duplicate. I think one Wixwell does the job. And I think, if you wanted him, you would have done the fusion. I'll put a little pip there. It's like, okay, if you missed the fusion, he's good. But maybe these would be higher value. Matthias, not too crazy on him. He's like a taunt champion, but we're finishing up a current fusion for probably a better taunt champion. So, Giath, not too much. He's like a mid-game budgety arena Hydra champ. Awella is decent healer, but I'd definitely be going for Feral. I'd be going for Feral 100% here. Nice buffs. Super, super good for Hydra. For the Voids, let's look at the Voids. Grisor, Diamant, Coppercoin, Riho, and Krisk. Well, we've got a lot of proven value. I'll say Riho has fallen off, I would say. Riho is one of those funny champions. She surged in value with the release of Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun, but now her value has dropped off with the nerfs to Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun. She's still very solid. She's still a great champion to have, but not as crazy. But I'd say she's okay. Worth, not a bad champion to have, but I don't know if I'd be chasing her anymore. Krisk remains really, really good. Krisk will also actually, when we consider Siege, Riho will be decent for Siege. Krisk is quite good for Siege, actually, considering that we've got Teox, who's new and OP as heck. Lazarius is very good. Krisk not only remains extremely strong in Hydra with all of his utility, he'd also in a PvP build be pretty good for Siege mode. So Krisk is staying relevant. He's very good. Grisor is great as well. Grisor is very similar, I think, to Krisk in Hydra. Great champion, coming in with buff extension, protecting your team, mischief tanking, provoking. He just does more damage than Krisk. So yeah, he's also not terrible for some arena stuff, so he might be okay for Siege. He's not insane, but he could be decent. And then Diamant Coppercoin. Coppercoin, he's the new guy. Bad ratings here. Intercept with increased resist strengthen on a short cooldown. AoE attack with buff extension. His A1 is healing. Quite interesting. He is very similar to Grisor. Both champions are bringing you increased resist strengthen, aren't they? Sorry, he's increased resist, increased defense. But both are bringing that. Both are extending your buffs. Grisor is bringing a provoke damage. And yeah, for that, this guy's bringing healing, and he's faster, and he brings some intercept. I don't know. I'd probably be going for Grisor over Diamant. What do we think? I'd be definitely leaning for Grisor. Diamant, I'm not really sure. I'm not too sold on him. I'll give him maybe a little dot right there, but I'm not too sold. I think that's a question mark. Whereas Grisor has proven value. I think Grisor and Krisk, you're likely only going for one of these at best if you are close to Mercy. There's really not much to worry about in terms of skipping. You can easily skip these events. Like, personally, I'm going to be skipping all of this, not going for any of it. But I think Grisor and Krisk have proven value. I would be going for them over Diamant. And unfortunately, like I said, Riho's fallen down a little bit. So I'd be recommending, if I was to pick any of these, I would be saying Feral, and then maybe Grisor, actually. I'd say Feral, Grisor. Krisk is a decent option, and so is Michinaki. I think they are your options. Depends on what you want and prefer for your account. But personally, I'm going to be skipping all of these and saving up. Remember, we are between fusions now, so we'll see what happens. There could easily be a Titan event or a big Heroes Path. There nearly always is some big event between fusions that we'll hear about soon. So, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this is interesting and helpful. Let me know what your plans are for these events. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.